Arohongui, daughter of the moon, was preparing for a feast to celebrate Tsukuhama's return from his war on the first ones of the Ezamites. Tafor, son of the forest, asked each of the birds to sacrifice one of their kind for the feast. He gave these offerings to Arohongui, who cooked them in a great fire-stone pit. Seeing all of those plump birds cooking made Kitava very hungry, and he offered to watch them, to make sure they didn't burn while Arohongui rested during the heat of the day. Arohongui thanked Kitava for his kindness, but while she slept, Kitava ate the cooking birds, flesh, bones, gizzards and all. Upon waking, Arohongui was furious to find that Kitava had lied to her, for saying that he would watch the birds when he truly intended to eat them all up. When Tsukuhama arrived home in his mighty canoe, Arohongui asked him to punish Kitava for his selfish gluttony. Tsukuhama, our father of war, agreed and pulled the sharpest tooth from his own mouth. He then asked Arohongui and Tafor to hold Kitava fast while he cut Kitava's face with the tooth. 2 slashes that blinded Kitava and formed a bleeding cross upon his face. From that day forth, Kitava would never be able to promise to watch that which he truly intended to consume. To replace the feast of birds that Kitava had greedily consumed, Tsukuhama, our father of war, and Valako, father of storm, went fishing. Although Kitava was blind, he could still cast his line and feel when a fish took his bait. So Tsukuhama and Valako took him with them on Tsukuhama's mighty canoe. But while they fished, Kitava grew hungry and secretly ate all of their bait of grubs and worms. Disgusted and angry, Tsukuhama and Valako decided to use Kitava as bait instead. Valako used his own jawbone as a hook, impaled Kitava on it, and cast both into the sea. Kitava sank to the bottom of the sea, but instead of the fish eating Kitava, it was Kitava who ate all of the fish that nibbled at him, flesh, scales, guts, and all. When Tsukuhama and Valako hauled a fat-bellied Kitava back up from the sea, they were even more furious and knew that Kitava must be punished one final time. Tsukuhama, our father of war, and Valako, father of storm, took Kitava to Hinekora, mother of death. They asked her to kill the greedy Kitava, for surely their tribe would starve if Kitava continued to live among them. But Hinekora refused, for death would not teach Kitava the lesson he needed to learn. Instead, Hinekora beat Kitava with a whip woven of her own hair. To Kitava, each strand was a searing lash, and so he wore thousands and thousands of blistering lashes across his back, as Hinekora drove him relentlessly into the darkest corner of the underworld. There she left him to suffer, without water or food, for the rest of eternity. And there Kitava remained, in the darkness of Hinekora's night-clad island, for time beyond measure. There he suffered, waiting for the day that he could return to the world of light, to slake his scorching thirst and satiate his ravening hunger.
Captain Alsaris. Remain in the warehouse until I personally send for you. In the unlikely event that Chittus should fall, you and your fellow legionnaires will be safely beyond the perimeter of his heart gem's influence. You men and women are my finest work yet. I would not lose you all to some aberration of chance. Malachi, Thaumaturge Laureate.
This world is dull and ugly, an imperfect feast of sights, feelings, and smells that repulse and depress. Yet amongst this deformity I have found my sublime calling. This world may be abominable, but to an extent I can be its saviour. I have been gifted with a special sight. Before me lies a blueprint of perfection, a kind of hidden beauty within skin, muscles, tendons, and organs. With a tempered hand and a sharpened blade, I will refashion, reshape, and rebirth this world. My obligation is immense, something that will, in all likelihood, consume my life. I cannot rest. My calling energizes me. Such is an artist's curse and compulsion.
Your soft whispers beneath earth tingle my skin, like breath of laughter against my loins. I sleep not. I hear your name inside my skull. Arakali. No name tasted so sweet on my tongue. Stories I have heard, tales of cursed beauty, visage of woman, jewel that walks the streets in final days of a great empire. Heard tell you sought victims, but I know truth. You sought man to love you, to break spell. You hoped true love might allow you to shed 8-leg body, to become goddess of love once more. I pledge myself to you, my lady of Val. I promise love, for I am that man you have waited on. Corrupt corpse lovers claim to worship you, call you spinner of shadows. But you have spun only shadows of desire about my heart. Sweet Arakali, I have found your altar. I will speak the call. I will return you to beauty. I will raise you from black pits of despair, and together we shall rule Rayclast in glory forever.